Hi folks, you're with Tacitus Today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. Please listen to this presentation as you would a radio broadcast. In this essay, I'd like to talk about, this is a pet peeve of mine, so I'm going to have a good bellyache in this video, but as I've mentioned in other videos, I have a share in a business, and we go around and do a lot of business. In the last couple of years or so, I've taken a more active role in getting out front and going to meetings and doing stuff. So anyway, we've made a bid on, and I'm talking about here about utter and total incompetence. Levels of incompetence. I would fire people for this level of incompetence if it were me, and they would get a real sort of performance evaluation if I was sort of doing it. But anyway, so we've done a bid and a proposal, to do business. Now, this is an outfit that relies almost exclusively on government contracts. And so my guess is, certainly looking at the people involved, that cronyism, if not outright corruption, is at the heart of all this. These guys, bring incompetence to a new level, but they don't have to be any good. The government contracts come rolling in, and their quality of management or lack of it sort of reflects that they just don't need to. The interesting thing here is the majority of them are straight white males, and so we're not talking about people that can't speak English or they haven't got any local expertise, experience or qualifications. We're talking straight out corruption and cronyism here, which, by the way, the once meritorious standards are abandoned, and they have been, whether the purpose is to be more inclusive or to have more black lesbians it doesn't matter the reason, but once standards are jettisoned, then all sorts of other corruptions and cronyism come in to fill the void that once was a high standard of merit, and this is one of those things. So this is one of the situations where I'm not going to castigate brown or black lesbians or something like that. These are mostly white, some white women, but mostly white straight white males. Now we've put the proposal in, and the guy we're dealing comes back to us and says, look, on balance, you've really won the business, and we'd like to come and sit down, have a chat. Come in and meet us, and we'll talk it all through, and so on. That's fine. Now I've got my own sort of thing, so I made sure that one of my colleagues asked the right questions. Do you have the budget? Is your budget signed off? Do you have all the the money in place, or all logistics there? We don't want to have to, all of us, turn up to this meeting and go around in circles and find that you guys actually aren't prepared at all, and it's been an utter waste of time. And you do get plenty of those. And once we start asking the tough questions, we often, not always, but often find that they're just not prepared and not organised. So we're able to say, well, these are the things you need to do before we meet. And these are the things that we need to agree. And I'm also a stickler of making sure that everyone that comes to the meeting is fully informed. We don't like going to meetings where they look, Billy Bob, can you tell us what you guys do? That sort of stuff, which is the hallmark, the screaming mark of an amateur once you get that sort of stuff happening. So, the guy just doesn't know what to do. He's floundering, just doesn't know where to start. Then they fold their arms and, can you tell me about yourself? And they're treating as if they're instead of being a business meeting, that they're interviewing some sort of a junior person to work the parking lot or something like that. Anyway, so we're just about to leave and jump in the car to go, and then we get this frantic thing saying they want to change the meeting time. Okay, I don't like it at this sort of last minute, no, but all right then. So we then were en route, and then sort of just a few minutes before we're due to walk in the door, we get another text saying they want to change the meeting time again because some other people can't come or something like that. A bit sort of vague. So we said, well, no, we're outside. We're about to walk in the front door. What idiot would think that they could change the meeting time when, the meeting's at 3 o'clock, and at 5 minutes to 3, they want to change the time. So we arrive, and we say we want to see, and then the person says this woman disappears and comes back. And says, "Oh, he's going to be out. This is the point man that we're dealing with. He's going to be out shortly." She talks to us. This woman who'd been late 30s. She talks to us as if we've come to sweep the floor. I mean, the tone and the manner and the way, sit there, sit over there. With this, school mum talking to a child. So we smiled, and so we went off and waited, and then it's I don't know, 20 minutes or so past the meeting time, and the guy appears and then says that some people will be coming and some not, and he's not sure who, and he's not sure how long other people will take. But then he's got other people in the organisation that will come to the meeting, and it's back and forth like what? And the guy sounds like someone who doesn't know what he's doing and doesn't know what he's talking about. That there's zero organisation and structure to the place. It's chaos and comes across that way. So we go to the we go all file into the room, and then it's announced that actually a couple of people are going to be coming in online through like Teams or something like that. So they're going to be coming in from outside, and okay, well that's fine, and things are sort of changing by the moment. I want to talk about dynamic. So the point man and we've been over exhausted. He's got all the documents. He assures us that everyone's been sent the documents. That what we're doing, why we're here, why are we at this meeting. So sensing the chaos, I open the meeting. So okay, well, we're in agreement. We've exchanged these documents. We've covered this. We've covered that. So what we're here to talk about is the sheer logistics of getting this done, and when are we going to start, and what are the logistics. So I get some blank stares from around the room. Yeah, Billy Bob, look, why don't you tell us about yourself and what you do? Oh, fuck. I can't believe the amateurism of these people. So I go, well, we've already been through this. Remember we've exchanged here, we've sent you all that information. You've had it for weeks now. Remember we've been through all that. Oh yeah, but just for the benefit of the people here who haven't got those documents. No. So I had to say, look, we're not going to do that, really. Now, I was of two minds. I mean, you got to indulge these people, and getting impatient and irritated with them isn't going to achieve anything. But I think it's already off the rails. How much of a disaster would this be to even get involved with these useless idiots? They're the guys who are going to sign off the checks for our payments, so we need to be cognizant of that. But this looks like a train wreck sort of already in motion, and do we really want to be part of this? So I'm thinking that sort of. No, one of my colleagues was looking at me with "Why don't you shut up?" sort of look, and so I let it go, and he started doing some talking, but it came back to the same thing of we don't know anything. We want to pretend that we have no information about you or what you're doing or about the project. They were the ones that wrote up what the project requirements were, yet they're pretending they knew nothing about their own project. So, and I'm thinking, how can people this incompetent be in these roles? And this imperious woman, again, she only knew how to talk to people as if they were children, had no concept of dealing with professionals, but neither did any of the others. And I mean, the courtesy and respect that you extend to a fellow professional, something that I view as being, this is how you do business. You don't do it any other way. These people had no idea about that at all. Then the people the guy that came in, or the couple of people that came in online, one guy, he just says, oh, look, something else has come up. I'm going to have to deal with that. Goodbye. He's gone. Why join? I mean, didn't you know you had another appointment? Then the other guy who was still online said, well, look, I don't want to talk about, I want to talk about this. And I've only got 20 minutes and I've got another appointment. like we're supposed to be booked for a 2-hour meeting here. So he went. I said, "Well, look, let's deal with your questions then." But his questions were again someone who didn't understand or appreciate or comprehend what was going on. So his questions weren't relating to any reality. He was just going off some sort of fantasy world that he was in, and his expectations around that. So then other questions came in of, "Oh, so can we just talk again about what is it you guys do?" This is after weeks of documents going. So I asked some people, "They look, have you actually looked at the documents we've sent?" "Oh, yeah, had a quick look. Well, why don't you tell me? Why don't you tell me what?" And so the whole thing was an utter waste of time and a complete schmozzle. But this is, I would say increasingly this is the standard that we're coming across. How are these people getting jobs? How are they keeping these jobs? How are they in these sort of positions? Because they're the ones that are going to, again, give us the work and sign off on the payments and so on. How are these people even in these positions? And we find that we drove away, and there was almost, we weren't even talking yet. We were all so bewildered by the poor quality of management and just the sheer incompetence, the sheer ineptitude. Couldn't you? I mean, it was only one page. Couldn't you have read it? Couldn't you? I mean, it's only one page you had to read. Couldn't you have done that? And they said, "Oh, we had a quick look." So, but I'm seeing this more and more. It to me, at least, seems to be more and more widespread. But the point about it, I mean, I don't necessarily care. The point about it is we all pay for this. So this is just a one-off bit of incompetence, but we all pay for this. Either the project has to go longer and it is more expensive. We have to increase prices because they're so incompetent. The project, which is work needs to be done, is delayed because they're so useless and can't get it together. It doesn't matter which way you look at it. From what people that really knew what they're doing could have had the job done for half the price. People that don't know what they're doing, they're going to take twice as long, and it's going to be twice the price, which ultimately is coming out of the taxpayers' money for this sort of work, given it's indirectly a government contract. So this is where we all pay for this. Now you multiply this out over many thousands, tens of thousands of transactions happening across Australia every day, and we're all paying heavily for this. Our standard of living is lower, and our proficiency level is low. The quality of work done is compromised either by the absolute quality or the length of time it takes to do it as you navigate through and around these idiots. But no one seems to be concerned by it. I sometimes wonder, am I a lone voice here, belly aching about it? What's your problem? Why don't you just shut the fuck up and go down? No. The level of ineptitude and incompetence is so great that it needs to be mentioned. You've been with Tacitus today, your pushback channel. Thank you for listening.